Australia, where blokes and Sheilas prefer beer to any other drink, or at least they used to. Believe it or not, these days Aussies drink more coffee than anything else. There's no doubt Aussies have gone absolutely coffee crazy. I'm Paul Bassett, the current world champion barista. What is a barista? That's someone who specialises in making espresso coffee. And I'm on a journey to find and document the best coffee in the world. Over the next hour, I'm going to be unravelling the secrets and myths surrounding coffee. And give you an in-depth look at this amazing drink. The humble coffee bean and the ritual and passion that surrounds it has influenced and continues to influence world culture. Coffee is as diverse and intricate as wine and is the second largest traded commodity in the world next to oil. You think that's amazing? Coffee is the world's most widely used legal drug.
Coffee, you pay me coffee.
This is Naples and it's famous for two things, pizza and the mafia.
Look at this, look at this. Come on.
So I'm going to have to keep my wits about me. I've been told if you want a great early morning coffee, the place to head is the Napoli fish markets. Here in Napoli fish markets, coffee isn't so much a luxury as it is a staple of life. Here, it's no coffee, no worky. Mafia or no mafia, these guys seem friendly enough. And they love their fish. This is the freshest fish I've ever seen. He's friendly. These guys are friendly, all right? A bit too friendly. I think I'll make him a coffee. Naples is the home of the heart starter espresso. It's traditionally made with a dark, robust blend. Strong and full-bodied, probably a bit like them. This guy doesn't have a clue what I'm talking about. Note to self, be a little more careful where I set up next time. Coffee was discovered when a goat herder in Abyssinia noticed his goats dancing happily on their hind legs after eating red coffee cherries. Now Nimbin, in northern New South Wales, is a bit of a hippie town, but it's also home of one of Australia's top coffee plantations. There are 73 species of coffee, but only 2 of them are grown commercially, Arabica and Robusta. Coffee cherries are what the tree produces. The skin is stripped away, the beans are dried and sorted, and then they're sent off to be roasted. There's a good bean. Oh, and there's another one. Meanwhile, back in Sydney, I've got a bit of a hot date. Now I'm going to take you where coffee's never been before. I call this one the honey affogato. Now, affogato means to drown, so that's literally what we're going to do. We're going to drown the honey gelato in the espresso. So I'm just lining the glass with a little bit of honey. We're then getting a ball of honey gelato. Now we're just going to prepare the espresso. We just want to run a double espresso over the top of this. Just loading the basket, leveling it off. Just gonna pack this nice and firmly into the basket, clean it off, and away we go. So while we're pouring our espresso, we're just gonna break up our violet crumble. And that will be for the piece de resistance. That is going to just be garnished over the top. And that is our honey-inspired affogato. Carly, come and try this.
Oh, that looks great.
Carly Narita, everybody.
Oh, yum.
You think that's good? You wait until you try the espresso martini.
This is beautiful.
So don't have too much of that, otherwise you're going to be wired.
Okay, I'll just have a little bit more because it's so good.
When in Rome, of course you have to do what all the other tourists do. This one's for Mum. This one's for Dad. And this one's for Auntie May. Ah, another very friendly local. Is this the same guy from the fish markets? I better take this one to get rid of this guy. I think I need to rest my feet and have a coffee. This is the famous Four Rivers fountain, and as we all know, there's no more basic ingredient to life than water. The fountain represents the meeting point of the world's greatest rivers. The Danube, they make beautiful coffee from that lovely water. The Euphrates, great coffee there too. The Nile, great coffee from that. And there's the Ganges. Yeah, maybe they'd have to filter that one. Let's see what these guys think of my blend. Oh, okay. Maybe I'll just have a chat with Nino instead.
For two or for one, don't it's important. You American coffee, you see, it's very light now.
This is Nino, and he works at Cafe Columbia. He reckons the best coffee's in Naples.
Yeah. Now tell me if this is true. I got told back home that if you pour the sugar on top of the coffee,
Yeah.
it should sit on the crema.
Yeah, I know.
This is true?
not this. You see,
Like this?
this one is a little good, but it's a really very. This is American black one.
Yep.
Yeah, it's looking like the cap of cappuccino, but it's just light coffee anyway. This is espresso.
Espresso?
This is one espresso anyway.
Okay. Let's have a little taste. What's your favorite coffee?
You like this coffee?
No,
How
one.
much?
Pardon?
It's good.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. But you are the best champion of a coffee. I'm the second one on the world.
Let's try this Americano.
2 cigarettes, any coffee.
It's
Now,
a lot lighter.
It's very, very light, this one. Just taste.
Nice guy, but his coffee is strictly for tourists.
It's quite thin,
Yeah.
not much body.
No.
Not very rich.
Here's a top tip, always use filtered water. You'll see as I travel north how the coffee blends change with the temperament of the people. Here it's a bit lighter and it reflects the more sophisticated culture. Now espresso means quick. It's a spur of the moment coffee that needs to be drunk straight away. As the crema dissipates, so does the aroma. I don't know what all the hype is about in there, but coffee was pretty ordinary. The Barista Brotherhood told me this place makes the best coffee in Rome. Meet Raimondo. He runs the place.
We're going to have a look out the back at the roaster?
Yes.
Yep, let's go. You tell me a little bit about the roaster. What's special about this roaster?
We roast the wood
Yep. And that, where's that go in
Side.
here? Yep.
Side. 20 minutes,
Yep.
200 gradi.
Yep. 200 degrees. Yep.
Okay.
It looks pretty old as well.
This is the old, very old.
Yeah.
60 years.
60.
60.
Yeah. I notice also you don't have any robusta.
Oh,
Everyone else in Rome has.
inside one beans, no, one beans of robusta in 60 years.
Really? Why no robusta? All the roasters in Rome and even down in Naples, they all like to put in about 10-40%, and you have none. Why?
100.
100% Arabica.
Only.
Yeah. How does that impact the flavour?
This is sweet. This is light.
Yeah.
No sugar is good.
Wow. Look at that. Cheers. Caffè buono. The best. So what I want to do is create enough foam here to make a cappuccino and a flat white. So our cappuccino is going to essentially have about 1.5 centimetres of foam and our flat white about 0.5 centimetre. The thing is, they will be a little stronger than our cafe latte, and the reason for that is the volume of liquid that we can fit in here is more, so that's what's making it weaker. A lot of people put chocolate in their cappuccinos in the early days just to disguise the bitterness and rancid flavour from the coffee. A true cappuccino shouldn't have chocolate, and you should be able to drink it without sugar. It should be that sweet. It's got a rich, dense, textured crema. And we're just going to roll the milk, and we're just going to pour our first cappuccino out. Now the key there is I poured the cappuccino first because most of the foam's sitting at the top of the jug, and then I poured the flat white. And what we've ended up with, really well flavoured, sweet coffee, not too watery, not too milky, and that's the key. Here's a top tip. For the best results, use full cream milk. A Turkish proverb. Coffee should be as black as hell, strong as death, and as sweet as love. I may look relaxed, but I'm actually pretty wired. How's the coffee in Rome? Some average, some fantastic. But that's Rome, a city of contrasts. The search goes on. Next time, I fly. I'd murder for a coffee, but first I wash and a brush up. Remember, when making plunger coffee, always heat up the plunger first. Look at this place. What a fantastic mix of old and new. So here I am in Milan, one of the most sophisticated cities in Europe. Here they like their coffee a little lighter in roast, giving a refined organic flavour profile. Still full-bodied and full of flavour, but not as bitter as down south. I'm going to see my mate Lorenzo. He's not only passionate about coffee, but the machines as well.
With the single boiler machine, when you need a lot of steam, you need to increase the temperature of the boiler. you increase the temperature of the water for coffee as
For the
well.
brewing.
So I mean, it's possible that you
burn the coffee.
That's the point.
So this is the blend. Do you want to open it for me? This is the blend that I
Sure.
took to Boston with me. The thing that I've found in Australia is that, you know, in the possibly more so the metropolitan regions,
You have the same.
you have the good coffee, but then when you go into the country, they're still learning.
Sure, I think you're perfectly right. I mean, even in good, I mean, big metropolis area or in big cities, it's not so easy to find a good quality.
You have to have some
and
local
in Sydney
knowledge.
You have it.
Yeah.
I mean, in Australia you have it.
You like this, Paul?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, there we go. So this is what happens when you run the coffee too long, as we were talking before. You notice how the pour starts to thin out, becomes yellow and thin and pale, and that's what extracts all the impurities into the cup and has your coffee taste like crap. So I'll try this.
It's good.
Buono.
Molto buono.
Molto buono.
I don't think I'd get out of Milan alive if I didn't pay my respects to my old mate Luigi Lupi.
Hello, my man. Nice to meet you. You're gonna make me a coffee?
Yeah. You made make a coffee for Mrs.
Cappuccino?
Alexia.
Alexia.
Okay. One coffee, please.
Are you paying me? This is the Eclipse. The guy that actually designed this died in 1961 when there was an eclipse. And some of the technology on this machine is just amazing. The group head itself has got pre-infusion built into the head, so it pre-soaks the coffee and it has the coffee expand beforehand, creating a lot more body and flavour in the coffee.
Perfect.
Very nice.
Luigi and I make coffee very differently. Very differently.
Luigi's factory is a high-tech coffee paradise. It's so modern, it's not even complete yet. This is what a modern roaster looks like, much the same as an old one. Now for some of Luigi's famous latte art.
Wow. Bye. Okay.
This is the little trick that not too many people know about, where you dust the crema and the chocolate caramelizes on the surface.
Ooh.
And you get this like tiger skin pour. It looks beautiful in the presentation. You see it's starting to go yellow. And it cuts it off.
Okay.
So the extraction time and the amount of coffee isn't really the critical thing. It's when the extraction starts to go thin and pale. So you want to cut it off.
The first is hot.
Beautiful. I'm gonna take one. I'm gonna send this one home to my mum. Okay? She'd love it.
It's fantastic.
So we're gonna do a bit of latte art. It's loading up the basket. What you want is just level, even, firm pressure. It's probably somewhat around, I'd say, 30 kilos of pressure. The key here is actually to separate the crema with the texture of the milk. And that's how we get beautiful definition on the top of the coffee. So that's the canvas. That's the starting point for our latte art. Then we can be as simple spider's web. So I'm just pulling out from the centre and then pulling back in. This is so easy. There we go. A couple of simple ones.
Here's a top tip. Never use boiling water. It burns the coffee. I'm heading for a place that I've always wanted to see. I can't wait. See that big blue thing? That's the Mediterranean. And see those? Donkeys. They really stink. I've got to get past these guys if it's the last thing I do. This is just spectacular. I've got to stop and get a shot of this. Note to self, once overtake donkeys, don't stop.
Isn't this a great spot? Up there is the monastery of the Capuchin monks on the beautiful Amalfi Coast. The Capuchin monks wore a brown hood, which resembles the top of a cappuccino. So that's where the name comes from. I've always wanted to make one right here, but first, now that is perfect foam. Beautiful.
And I thought I was mad about coffee, but look at these guys.
I want to give this to someone who'll really appreciate it.
Coffee was called the drink of the devil. Medieval monks embraced the drink, claiming it kept them awake during their prayer vigils.
Okay, now this one is the Bacchino, a baby kiss. And this was the drink that I used at the World Barista Championship, which helped me secure victory. We're just going to preheat this little sherry glass. We're going to start off by wiping the rim with some orange zest. We're then going to dip it in some honey and then some crushed up cinnamon sugar. So it's almost reminiscent of a margarita, except with a few different ingredients. So in the honey, into the crushed up cinnamon sugar. And we're using a little bit of Ivory Coast cacao. We're adding a sugar syrup that's been infused with star anise and vanilla pod, and a little bit of cream. So all these flavours just work so well with coffee. You've got that rich texture of the chocolate and cream coming together like a chocolate ganache, with that complexity of the star anise and vanilla pod just fusing with the chocolate. So espresso is just going to be laid on top. I'm going to fold that in. finishing touch. You ready for your second experience? The bacchino. So this is going to hit your mouth firstly with the texture of that sugar. It's going to have the orange zest just run up into your nose.
That is incredible.
You're going to have the rich creaminess and velvetiness of that cream and chocolate, and then the coffee just smoothing it all out.
I've never had anything like this before, ever.
Yet another airport waiting lounge. This one's in Tokyo. Like everything the Japanese do, they only go for the best. Here they have a taste for Blue Mountain, which is the world's most expensive coffee. It tastes great, but it lacks a bit of character. Oops, there's my plane. Gotta go. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with one small step. I'm really looking forward to drinking my first coffee in Paris.
First coffee in Paris. Let's go see what it's like. It really smelled in there. It was like a whole heap of cigarettes had been smoked and it was rotten. Maybe I'll get my first coffee here. We'll see what it's like, eh? So this is the French's idea of espresso, hey? Without even tasting it, it looks like it's going to be pretty damn ordinary, I reckon. The creme is as light as it comes, I wouldn't even say. It's closer to white than it is caramel. Anyway, pretty thin, pale. Espresso's usually around the 30ml mark. This is probably double or triple that. Let's give it a bash anyway. Definitely nothing special. Definitely quite watery, thin, pale, pretty comparable to dishwater. And I think I'll leave it there.
After the break, the search deepens for good coffee in Paris. I don't know where it is. Nowhere on earth has coffee played a more important role in shaping a culture than in the city of Paris. Since 1672, artists, writers, philosophers have all composed their masterpieces over a cup at one of this city's most famous cafes. Come to think of it, maybe an artist will point me in the right direction.
I seem to agree with me, the coffee is...
Terrible in Paris.
The local said it! The coffee's terrible in Paris.
No se lo des a nadie, cielito lindo, gracias, junto a la boca.
Okay, I think I'll try the historical angle. This is the Pro Coupe Cafe, the oldest cafe in the world. And this is the maitre d'.
Can you tell us a little bit about what is behind us?
You have this text is just a French constitution in 1789. There's a revolution.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll translate. Established way back in 1686, the Pro Coupe has always been at the heart of coffee culture in Paris. Its patrons read like a who's who of the arts: Voltaire, Rousseau, Balzac, Victor Hugo, and even Benjamin Franklin have all had coffee here. The French Revolution started right here after a few drinkers got wired on coffee and made a rousing speech to the masses. And best of all, Napoleon pawned his hat here to get a cup.
When Napoleon came here for the last visit, he came to pay the bill. Okay, and he let this hat
Yep. Did he have no money?
Yeah. Okay. And we keep it.
Did you find the artists talking with the politicians
Yes.
and the philosophers?
This place in 1686, it's luxury.
Luxury.
Very luxury.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
Whereas today,
the
everybody
time.
drinks coffee.
Yes, yes,
but
yes, yes. This place is a meeting place for all the people want to show.
It's like the place to be seen.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. They would mingle with all these other people. And all the time the coffee
Yes,
is,
yes.
is stimulating the mind and
yes.
causing possibly the revolution
Yes.
to have started
Yes,
here.
yes, yes, yes.
I would have loved to have tried the coffee back then. I reckon it would have been something out of this world. Oh.
And just when things are looking grim, I found a little coffee paradise right in the heart of Paris's Latin Quarter.
What was your name again? What was your name?
What is my name?
Yes. Oh, thank you. Jean-Paul.
Yeah.
So this coffee is Hara, yeah? From Ethiopia.
Yeah.
It's beautiful
This is a
coffee.
roasting from yesterday. And I make this one exactly same color.
The same,
Okay.
yep. What is the temperature?
200 degrees.
Right now?
Yes.
What did you think of Australian coffee?
It's good. Keep acidulate.
A little bit of acid?
With many perfume.
Ah.
It's a good one. Here you have a Robusta. You see the color? It is not darker.
This is the
It is not
Robusta.
dark.
That's the Robusta there?
Yeah, and Indian, yes.
Yep. Are most coffee roasters in France using Robusta?
I know only the more in France, more and more people take Arabica now.
Oh, okay.
Now it is before there is 2 years ago. The percentage was for the Robusta.
More Robusta.
Now it is a contrary. Sorry.
Better catch the roast. Is it done the first crack?
No.
Not yet?
Not yet. But it is not. It is yellow now. You see?
Sure.
The first crack it is about in 5 minutes.
5 minutes for this one? How are most people in France drinking their coffee at home?
Filter paper.
Filter. Most people drinking filter.
It is a majority. You understand? You hear?
Hear the crack?
Yes, it's the beginning. You listen?
I can hear. It's just like popcorn. It cracks
Not
once,
exactly.
but no, but the popcorn cracks once.
Vous éteignez le réveil? You listen?
I can hear. What I was saying was, just like popcorn has one crack, coffee has two. So this is just finishing the first crack, where the bean has expanded and lost moisture, where it's going to flow on into the second crack where a lot of the oils are caramelizing, and that's probably where he's going to pull it out. You just turn the cooling tray on. The cooling tray.
Yes.
Beautiful. It's close. It's close. This is the critical point. We better not interrupt him. Beginning of the second crack. I was really expecting the coffee to be a lot darker. The rumours that I've heard are that coffee in France is very dark, full of Robusta, and either this guy's a 1 in a million, or I don't know. I'm shocked. This guy really knows his shit.
It's without sugar.
Without sugar. He's just made this on a little domestic machine out the back. Très bon.
Have you like it?
Yes. Cheers.
Strong, not too strong.
It's quite delicate.
Yes. Charles de Gaulle. Ouais. It is a good airport. Bon voyage, merci, à bientôt. Au revoir. Au revoir.
Note to self, maybe the train isn't so bad after all. After the break, I finally get to taste amazing coffee. Over the last hour, we've really seen how coffee reflects the culture it's drunk in. I've seen how the Italians are so passionate about their coffee, but like most things they do, sometimes there's a bit more passion than technique. We've seen how the French are absolutely convinced that their often bitter brew is the best in the world. So after all of that, where's the world's best cup of coffee? Well, for my tastes, it's here in Oslo. You might be surprised to know the Scandinavians have won the World Barista Championships 3 times in a row, and that the Scandinavians drink more coffee than anyone else in the world. And given the way coffee mirrors culture, you'd expect them to be meticulous in how they make it. Meet some of my barista brotherhood.
So I can see immediately this roast is it's a lot lighter. You'll see here this was the espresso roast. It's a lot darker and you can see the oils just starting to shine onto the surface. And this one here, so you've roasted this one a little lighter to suit the drip filter?
Yeah, a little bit.
In this way you don't taste the roast as much. You taste more the coffee flavors. Strong.
You get more of the flavour of the coffee rather than the caramel sweetness, which I can see we're
also
definitely trying
more
to...
caffeine, but...
more caffeine in this style as well.
You have more contact time with water, so,
yep.
So it wakes you up more.
Brilliant. I might have that espresso you promised me, and I might have a bit of a chat to you about the way you're making it.
The correct way is to do it quickly, because then you don't lose the heat in the portafilters. And we always leave the coffee in to keep the heat.
Yep.
That's very important. Many people wash it afterwards in the water here.
Yeah. I'm in agreement with leaving the cake in the basket.
Yeah, and then you get some water in here and you don't want that.
That's coming out into the cup beforehand.
And we always wipe out the old coffee and the moists from the old water. Because if you have much water in here, the water from the group head would go where the water is.
Yeah.
So you won't extract the whole coffee.
Tim actually inspired me after seeing him where I came 6th in Oslo. I saw how polished he was. I took all my notes back and just took a mental picture and went back and I went, that's how I've got to perform if I'm going to win this championship. And so it was really your performance that did it for me. You were just so meticulous and it was great. Great to watch. No, check out all the trophies these guys have got. No wonder this is the best.
So this blend is supposed to be sweet and a bit fruity.
It is a bit fruity, isn't it?
With a chocolate aftertaste.
You definitely get the fruit coming through after.
And when you take some sugar in it, you can even taste the fruits more. It's very distinct.
Oh, that's great.
So if I just pour the milk in, we would call it a maraschino.
A maraschino?
Or a Spanish cortado. But you can just change one of the letters into a marocchino with some chocolate.
So there's a lot of foam there, isn't there?
Yeah. something like that. It's supposed to be a rustic look.
No, that looks great. No, that's beautiful.
Look at that. It's a espresso specialist too. It's called Mats.
Like Maroc chocolate.
Yeah.
Espresso chocolate.
So we don't do them many special.
So for me, this is as near to perfection as you can get.
Yep.
But I reckon there's some places back in Sydney that are just as good. Now I'm going to show you something really special.
This one's the espresso martini, obviously inspired by the martini. We're just going to start by chilling the martini glass down. Just going to let that sit. Next bit, we're just adding some more ice to a cocktail shaker. Okay. Now, 45 mils of vodka. We're then just adding a little bit of chilled espresso. We're then throwing down about 15 mils of creme de cacao, a little bit of chocolate, a dash of the secret ingredient, the sugar syrup infused with star anise and vanilla pod. Okay. Just going to shake that down. Now, we all know martinis have usually got an olive in them. So for this one, we're just going to chuck in a Ferrero Rocher. So we're just going to dip that in like that. And some grated dark chocolate. Carly, come and check this out.
All right. Oh, yum. Oh, that is sensational.
You'll be up all night on that one, I think.
I can imagine.
So try dipping it in, take a bite, then
Dip it in again.
dip it in again, and then just soak up all the
Oh,
vodka
yum.
and coffee and...
Wow. Cheers.
Cheers. I told you coffee was a sexy drink.
El placer más